Hi friends, let's take a look at Link versus Bitcoin, Link versus dollar coin. I've got a couple of notes written up here so that we can make the episode a bit easier to film for me just now. The 144 EMA is being respected here on the 24-hour time frame, and in fact that's going to be our little pivot area for us at the minute at 86,000 satoshis there. We're currently at 88,000 satoshis. Towards the top side, we have this downward sloping median line of the parallel channel, which is an extension of the pitchfork that we had in the background. 89, it's clear to say that 90k and the 93k in fact really being more important, 93,500 in terms of pushing up, because that's where the 21 EMA is just now, and the 236. So a couple of areas of confluence then we could say that our pivot zones really come in at let's just do that, and then dive down the time frames for a bit of a closer look. Sideways right now is not a bad thing as long as we're within that zone there. The falling wedge on the Ethereum pairing with the potential of playing out at the 144 is also the case. So I just dump over real quick to the Ethereum one so you can see what we're talking about real quick now. You can see here there's the 144, this blue line here. If the prices move up and challenge and go past that, then of course we've got potential for play out of this falling wedge off the back of this falling wedge, this small one here, which has a measured move. So we'll discuss that in just a second. Let's dive back over to the Bitcoin one real quick and zoom on in and say what's been going on with the prices just in and around this zone. So we've come back down and retested this falling wedge area several times, and of course we've managed to stay above this key area of the 86,500 that we've been speaking about so often over the last while. I spoke about it back here before the weekend, then the weekend came over here before the weekend. The weekend came in and we've respected it with wicks all the way down, offering up easy to manage risk in terms of your trading at that area. Very handy for folk. And let's just go down a time frame to the 4-hour time frame here and check in with our pal the DMI, and what we can see here is that the strength of trend is completely faded off. We've gone outside the orange zone down below and into this red one with the ADX here. The line that changes color is the ADX line. Movements even further down will start to turn this white. We'll get a volatility potential spike coming in as we saw on the 13th of September. Reminder, 13th of September saw the prices then massively change in terms of their macro structure as well and all that sort of stuff. So that was interesting. Again, the last time we saw that happening was over here. Volatility doesn't mean it's the end of the world, just means that there's going to be a big deal of volatility. Low leverage and you can survive moves anyway. High leverage and you'd certainly be getting washed out. That creates the opportunity for stop hunts and liquidity hunts there in terms of the big fish. So that's what's going on if we see this drag on. So it's not necessarily a bad thing to be going sideways, although it kind of, it increases the likelihood that we'll get a move at some point soon enough. And if we were to get a move then off the back of these towards the top side, you could be looking up towards this golden pocket area and 100k. Several targets along the way really come in around about the 96,000 after we push past 93.5, if that's the case, and 100k where we have the 233 exponential moving average, and the 382 comes in at 167,000 or 106,000, and that would be of course key for us as well towards the top side. All sorts of crucial zones, but really, first off, let's look at this. We've got the 21 EMA just above our heads right now, 88, actually just below us. We've just made it past that, but that's right in this zone, key zone. The next one, 90k, and the 50 simple as well at 91,000. But really, we have to look towards these targets like 93,500. That's what we're kind of trading for at the minute. We don't have any sort of really standout divergence here as part of this downward trend. Overall, things have just been kind of going along without massive degrees of divergence to give you these hopium opportunities, such as when we were at the low down here. It wasn't actually divergent. Apart from on the stochastics, it was slightly, and of course, because of the wedge formation, it was on the MACD as well. We did see some on the DMI. So the question then at this moment is, do we see any on the DMI as we've been sloping down the way? And you could say that this spike here, or this high, and this high, as we've been putting in this No, actually, you couldn't say that. No, it wasn't divergent. So we're not relying on divergence for this. We're really just looking at the price action itself and saying how are things going to go along, and that's what we're looking to. Those two areas there. I've kind of explained it all in detail. Here with the dollar pricing, it's the same scenario, same sort of setup, just above the 21 EMA in the 4-hour time frame, the 24-hour time frame. We've come back down, retested our wedge. We've not had the measured moves off the back of it, being supported at the minute by the 144 exponential moving average. Same story here across the dollar and Bitcoin pairings, looking towards the top side at $10.15 is where we've got the or $10.20 or so, around about that area for the 21 EMA, the top side of our parallel channel, and this box here, which is obviously a big significant zone for us. The key area beyond that's 1150. Downside targets, of course, come straight back in again at the 830. Let's call it 850 down to let's call it 850 to 790 area for that 618 golden pocket. That could put us in with a higher low, kind of signaling the end of this downward trend. If we were to redo that, I'd be a little bit concerned about it, but of course we could even actually do that while staying above the retesting yet again this wedge sort of area in terms of support in the 233 exponential moving average there on this one. As you can see, we still haven't actually managed to throw off the shackles of this downward sloping price. There's the negative strength of trend, although we do have the negative DM coming back down below our sort of Fibonacci line of 23 there, coming back in and testing around the 20 zone again. At this point here, this juncture, are we going to see things move towards the top side and then undo this trend? Well, at the minute, it doesn't look fantastic for it, but there is actually quite a lot of good stuff, like the divergence we see on the MACD, creating this wedge and these areas towards the top side. So really, it all pans out to be the same thing that we've looked at several times. Perhaps what's missing from this analysis here on this coin, on this particular chart, is just to say the 236 is in there at 1030 at the edge of this box, taking us up past the 382 and coming towards the 50% zone. If we can hit the 50% line, we've taken out this box, and we've of course had the measured move off the back of the wedge from the Bulkowski textbook pattern, and that would be your target there at 1370 if you were to be so inclined. What else do we have? I could talk about this this here, and we've had the measured move off the back of that already, but I'm not going to. I have done now, so I've mentioned that, so that's good enough. What was the Ethereum pairing thing I wanted to talk about? Falling wedge, parent, same scenario, but we've got these two small areas. Let me just get rid of the brush marks I put on at the start of this episode and hide that. What we're looking at here is, will we get a measured move off the back of this thing and therefore challenge the top end of this wedge, 21 EMA and the 236 Fibonacci? Are we going to do that or not? That's the question. The 144 up above our heads giving us that resistance currently in terms of this 24-hour time frame. In terms of the 4-hour time frames, we've got the 21 EMA here just above our heads giving us that resistance. Pardon me. We've come to here, pure sort of sideways price action. But if you wanted to, you could say low, high, higher low, higher high. And if you were so inclined, you'd also say that there isn't any of that divergence here on terms of this. But what was the most key and important thing for us is that down here in the 4-hour time frame, we see the volatility having really come back into as being a real threat to us, as it was back over there on the 1st of October. Yet again, now this was separated by a weekend, of course. So here we are, and we're looking at this and saying we've finally kind of boiled down. We've got the ADX down here below, coming down to 10 even, with the positive crossover of the two lines there. This is volatility territory. There's times in the past when we've had these things happen for us and we've been able to take advantage of it in terms of big moves. Look at this zone here, this area. Big spike up followed by big drop down in prices in around that shaded zone. Here in this shaded zone, big ups and downs in terms of taking out our previous highs and lows before then sloping on down the way. Throughout entirely bearish price action throughout this zone here, before then eventually it cracked and then moved on down the way. What are we going to see here during this sideways period? Now, we didn't get too much fruition off of this one, although we did see the prices drop down from where they could have been breaking out to where they weren't anymore, and coming in here and sort of putting in another leg of this wedge. Really quite tight, moved out of it sideways rather than sort of breaking out. We're still in the midst of the potential with this zone here. Very key, very good takeaways for people if they're watching and you're paying attention to this zone just here. I would recommend that you do so. I would recommend it. You want access to this? Just come over to the Discord and meet us and talk about things. At 5 o'clock UK time, we will be having a live voice chat for people. If I just go over to, there's the code, by the way, for that DMI. Here at this time, so Manhattan, 12 p.m., 9 a.m. Los Angeles, 6 p.m. Czech Republic, like European time and the two main American times really, and UK time, that's when we'll be having a live voice chat. So be sure to join us for that. And if you want to know how to play breakouts as well, I've got really good video for that in the Bitcoin. Going to have a cleanup of them. There's too many chats here, I think, at the minute. Going to have a cleanup of that. So where are we anyway? Where's Bitcoin at? Staking, our smoke, Neverland. Have I collapsed it? Yeah, I've collapsed it. Sorry. Bitcoin here. This is the Bitcoin video. Really great video here if you want to go check it out about how to do breakouts and how to manage your risk and your entries and everything else. It's a fantastic video. A couple of great videos from back in July. Of course, all my videos are good. You can say that about any of them. You could go back to any period of time and choose any particular one because they're all very good. But this is a particularly good one from 19 minutes and 30 seconds. You'd have made at least 20% profit had you watched that video. So you can do that with regards to the current price action here for us and what we're looking at just now too, if you like. Okay, all good. Catch you later. Thanks so much for tuning in. Really do appreciate it. I'm going on to do Tezos now. So youtube.com/Rocky Outcrop. Share it with your friends. You know you want to. See you then. See you tomorrow.